we have Chloe Belloy, who is the recipient of the Excellence in Legal Services, and you are also the founder of Belloy Legal.
You mean perfectly.
I'm trying to say it right.
Not trying, it perfectly.
Okay, good. I just want to start off by saying, what does it mean to win an award like the award that you won? I mean, what did it mean personally and professionally for you?
Yeah, so I'm very proud of it. You know, it's a personal achievement. I've been a lawyer since 14 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is.
You look so young.
Thank you. I love hearing that.
You do. Like, I would never say 14 years,
yeah,
but yes.
Thank you. I was a young lawyer.
Okay.
Actually, when I started.
Okay.
So no, I feel very proud of it. You know, I think empowering women in law, but in all the sector, it's not about representation. It's about reimagining what we want as a leadership. It's like building society where gender no longer dictates credibility or success.
Yes.
So yes, I'm very proud of that, and I still remember my father telling me, you know, lawyers, it's not a job for women. So maybe he just wanted me to prove him wrong.
Yeah, probably. He was motivating you, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope I did, and I hope
Okay.
it could inspire other women to say, yes, of course, I can be a woman, I can be a lawyer. There is no issue about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, yes.
I love that. Okay. And the surprise for our audience is that you're not just any lawyer, you're a criminal and family services lawyer.
Yeah.
Criminal law, I think, is quite a heavy one. I mean, tell us about that.
It is. So, you know, at the beginning, I have no lawyers in my family.
Okay.
It was not family vocation. I didn't know any lawyer or any judges. I wanted to be an actress.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, I went to a drama school in Paris.
Okay.
I followed the actor studio lessons.
Okay.
And alongside the law studies. But law was very intellectually challenging.
Okay.
I loved it. And at some point, I had a big internship in New York working on Madoff case.
Okay.
And it was like so interesting, like going to New York City courts, understanding also the difference, because the same people who were victims of Madoff in France were accused in the US of money laundering. So
wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was like so interesting. So I started with business law. I did business school in Paris, ESSEC, which is quite famous over there.
Okay.
But something was missing. I'm missing the human connection, the sense of purpose. So I decided to apply to a boutique law firm with Francis Piner, who is like a very famous criminal lawyer in Paris. And he gave me a chance.
Wow.
So I was 22 years old, and I just took oath, and I defended people victim of Carlos, the terrorist.
Okay.
And I know I found my vocation.
Wow.
Yeah. And today people say, oh, you're a criminal lawyer, but how do you deal with like defending murderer, pedophile? And I always say, no, it's not because they did that I agree with what they did, but still I think it's the essence of a lawyer that to defend everybody. We have a conscience clause, so I could say I don't want to work on your case. But for me, if we want like fair trial, meaningful decision, everybody needs to have a voice and to be defended. Yeah. So I think very aligned with it.
Yeah.
It's not difficult for me.
Okay.
It's challenging sometimes to still take your emotion away, to be professional.
Absolutely.
To give good legal advice, which is not always easy because in criminal law you carry a lot of emotional weight.
Yeah.
Family law also.
Yeah.
Criminal law, it's often too late because the worst had happened before. But I think it's a very challenging and interesting law because you're really in the deep of the human complexity and you can make a difference.
I mean, my follow-up question just for that is, how do you disconnect from it as well? I mean, I'm sure you've come across certain cases that
Yeah.
took a toll on you as well. I mean, how do you let that go once you're done with a case?
It's a very interesting question because, it's not a job, then you will close the office and it stops.
Exactly.
You carry the fears, the anger of people with you, and it's the last marking on you sometimes. I will tell you a very personal story. So when I was pregnant of my second child with a boy, I have a case of a couple who had a shaken baby.
Okay.
He survived, hopefully, but he was shaken by the nanny.
Okay.
And his name was Raphael. And we chose with my husband to call our son Raphael. And when I gave birth, I told my husband, I cannot. I can't. I love this name. It was the name we chose. But with this case, I'm scared that I will always link my son to this story.
Yes.
And so we changed. And his name is Eli. But,
okay. Also a beautiful name.
Yeah,
so
also for sure.
Yeah.
But so it's true that you carry this with you.
Yes.
And you have to be a legal mind to give advice, but you cannot just say, okay, this is too emotional. You have to concentrate on the rational stuff. Of course, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You have to give advice. You have to say, I understand with empathy. I understand what you're going through. I'm here to help you. I'm not a psychologist also. We have legal tools. How can we use it to find a good decision or to overcome some big issues?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're a human, and there is a human factor.
Yeah, for sure.
And the person in front of you is still human, regardless of what the accusation is or what you're defending them from. They're still a human being, so there is that emotional
touch. Of course,
touch.
even a murderer is the son of someone, maybe the father of someone, the brother of someone. And I deeply believe in second chances.
Yes.
I think if you don't believe in that, you don't believe in humanity.
Yeah.
It's difficult sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's very interesting to see the victim's reaction, because sometimes society is more difficult than the victim are with the people who hurt them. It's so I really deeply believe in humanity and in justice. So.
Yeah. Which is important as a lawyer, because you have to be impartial as well. I mean, you can't always side with the victim. I mean, the accused could have a history of abuse as well, and their fair share of troubles that led them to that point.
Yeah. We don't have to be really impartial.
Yes, I know what you mean,
Because,
but I mean, like to be able to judge in a way fairly when you're taking on a case, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have to be able to say the truth to your client.
Yes.
And to say, this is my boundaries. If you want to say that, which couldn't be heard, I will not do that for you. It's a teamwork. You need trust. But you need to be fair. You cannot give them unrealistic expectation.
Yes.
And sometimes what is very difficult for a lawyer, it's to say, for instance, the victim of domestic violence or a rape. You have to say, maybe we're gonna lose. Because the truth and the judicial truth are two different concepts. And if we don't have evidence in your case, maybe the guy will not be convicted. And it's very difficult to say that to a victim.
Yes.
That maybe at the end of the day, the justice will not recognize this person as a victim. Even after long, difficult interview, audition. So it's the hard work of a lawyer to be very honest with the client, even they don't really want to hear that.
Yeah.
But it's the way I work. I'm very honest with my clients. Because justice could be difficult, hard, and seems unfair. But for sure, for judges, they have to decide with what is in the case.
Yes.
So what happens behind closed door, sometimes it's very difficult to prove.
Yeah.
Now it's true, we have always a phone somewhere, cameras. It's easier and easier. But still, even today, we have a lot of people being harassed on social media, on everything, with a lot of anonymous behind it. And it's very difficult because you feel powerless. Even for judges, it's difficult to find where are these people, who they are.
But the beauty of the UAE, I mean, I speak about the UAE and Dubai specifically, is that there are always new laws to protect residents and citizens, and I love that. And recently there was a law that was passed for social media influencers and people posting on social media as well. So in a way, it might be difficult, but they're always moving forward.
Exactly. You know, law is always the reflect of a society.
Yeah.
Things change, and UAE really, I'm so impressed by what they are doing. You know, for COVID, all the courts in France, they have been closed, totally shut down for at least 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
In UAE, we had online trials. They
Yeah.
are so impressive. And yes, they changed the law now, even for family law, for divorce. They will apply your law, so they could apply French law.
Oh, wow.
It's, so
That's
impressive. Great. Yeah, they change a lot the law. They protect a lot the women. They changed the law even last April for Muslim women in divorce.
Yes.
To uplift the rights. Really, they are so reactive. And it's very interesting to work here. And also this prize, it's emotional for me to get it here, because I think like I'm kind of a bridge between France and UAE, and I have to explain a lot to French judges how it works in UAE. Sometimes they are very cliché about what could happen here, what is the treatment of women here, which is funny when you say I feel more safe here than everywhere else in the world.
Exactly, yes.
So yes, I'm very proud to get a prize here.
That's amazing. Okay, so going back to criminal law, what do you think is the most challenging thing about being a lawyer, a criminal lawyer?
I think, yes, it's really the emotional part, the human part.
Okay.
What we discussed before.
Okay.
Okay. Also, law, you have to be up to date because law is changing.
Yes.
But yes, mostly it's the emotional weight it carries. I have no issue of defending whatever the person it is, if they are able to listen to me and to trust me.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really challenging for me.
It's not challenging.
It's intuitive.
Okay. But was there like a case that posed a challenge when making a decision, both personally and professionally? Like you felt like it conflicted you a little?
Never.
Never.
Never. I think it's also ethical.
Okay.
When you have strong values, your clients come to you for that also. So really, I've never faced the challenge.
Okay.
Never ever. Whatever my client did, I never faced this conflict.
Amazing. And I think that's essential in your role.
Yeah.
To be very confident and, strong when it comes to your values, so that even your client can see that and sort of absorb that from you, when they're going through with a case.
I think so. I think, and it's difficult for young lawyers, maybe especially women, to, when you have in front of you a client with very strong personality, to say, no, it will not be like that. It could be difficult.
Yeah.
So if you're not strong in your values and your ethics, in the way you work, maybe you can feel this conflict. But I never felt it. Never ever.